Hey guys, Ridiculous Badger coming at you from Planet 545, continuing on in this one love, one troop type thing. So, an extension of playing one troop type, as I've said, is playing one specific commander. But besides that one specific commander, you definitely want to make sure that you're filling out the rest of your roster, your deck, your hand, what the hell ever, with commanders that are the same troop type. Now, I realize that for some this can seem like overkill. For some, this could seem like this daunting task that, like, how do you find five commanders that are the same? You could totally do it. And in this game, you are fielding the same troop type. You're not fielding, like, walkers in slot 1 and infantry in slot 2. It's just not done. So each troop type does have some commanders in it to make it well-rounded in order to give you that option of playing multiple commanders with the same troop type. I feel personally that this is easiest for infantry, and I'll go more into infantry a little bit later and why I think that infantry is the thing that, like, really everybody should play. But as far as commanders go, you have a ton of options. Really just a ton of options. The starting commander, Flair, he's a decent starting commander. Got a sure hit skill, which infantry are a little bit less filled out with those than, say, Walker. And he starts out as B class, which is great. Other than him, I mean, look, everyone knows Bullet. Bullet is wonderful. He fulfills a particular niche in the game, and he has a high proc rate, and there's such a low investment. You really only need one skill, and so he's wonderful. Besides him, there's Stella is free. I mean, so is Bullet, so is Flair. Stella is free. She's great. I love Stella. I've been playing Stella for. She was like my first commander that I called. This is my main commander. I mean, first I got the X, but whatever. I knew that was just a warm up for Stella. But the X is great. And a lot of people look at the X as though it's like some bastard sibling to Stella, but in reality, there are some situations, specific situations, where the X is better than Stella. Especially if you were a spender, especially if the enemy only sends the front row, especially if you have first strike. She could be punishing. Plasma, look, regardless of everyone needs a plasma. Everybody needs a plasma. Plasma is so important, so different, and so unique. Thunder Ray makes the honorable mention list. Honestly, a lot more testing needs to be done with Thunder Ray. He has a particular skill which is actually very, very interesting, and I'd love to see more people delve into him and see how viable he is. Not as a main, but as a utility comp. Gilly was recently released to the public, and she is great. She's also way up there on my list. I love Gilly. Besides that, we still do have some decent options here. Like Mariko is a unique commander, a lot like Bullet, but from an older meta, but still not terrible and has its uses. Nikojiro, as far as if you take out the commanders they have to spend a bunch on, Nico's free, Nico's readily available, Nico has a sure hit skill, Nico has dodge, Nico is wonderful. Yeah, that's about it. I'm not a fan of Rita. As far as the walkers go, for walkers, it's way slimmer pickings. I feel like the walkers don't have a lot to choose from. There's Chief. Chief is an old standard. He's wonderful in the beginning of the game, and he loses effectiveness into the middle and end of the game based on how his skills scale. Although now he's starting to come back into some utility due to the presence of Crit Wither and some other things. Galileo is a great commander. I mean, honestly, I think he's for a little bit of an earlier meta, but he could be a punishing commander to go up against. He could be he could just drag out a fight, which is great. Hoodoo. Hoodoo is one of my favorites. He's got huge damage potential. He's a plasma killer, and he's got a lot of utility. Full Metal has great damage throughput. He's an expensive comm to get. Elf is great also, like kind of like the Plasma of the Walkers, but just like with a different tint. And I'm going up because, yeah, I forgot Moon Booty. Moon Booty got a ton of short hit skills, which is great. Definitely a respectable comm. Medusa happens to be a wonderful free walker comm with the 2 short hit skills. The Sui Medusa is wonderful, although if you got a Sui set, but you're running Medusa, it's kind of a weird situation. And hey, yeah, if you don't have Hoodoo, there's Pictor, but yeah, you're gonna have Hoodoo over Pictor. Rock is awesome, and arguably in some cases better than Bullet due to the higher accuracy of research on walkers. Great comm. As far as air goes, your options to fill out your portfolio there are Grievous is making somewhat of a comeback. He was originally from an earlier time when people would play more unit types, but he is a strong commander if used properly. He doesn't really hold a candle, in my opinion, to air comms like Golem and Rayman even. See, I like these guys because they're 1-slot busters. I love 1-slot busters because 1-slot busters, they just allow you to play with a lower investment of your army due to they just need 1 slot. So Rayman is almost as good as Golem, but he's a lot freer than Golem because he's free and Golem's not free. Besides that, we got Blader. Blader is amazing, and as far as air comms go, relatively low investment. Lady and the Beast was recently made, just stellar. She kills Dodgers, which is great. Actually, a decent comm to throw against infantry comms. Rogers is like one of the, if not the top air commander in the game. Although personally, like I said, I like 1-slot bust commanders better. But Rogers is just, if you're a spender and you make a Rogers, I'm afraid of you. Besides that, Rocket has even some utility. And you know what, for walkers, even Kid has utility. Sorry, I didn't mention him, although he needs a lot of accuracy to work. Oh, Black. Black is like, maybe like a cheaper Rogers to play. So, as you could see, you definitely have multiple options. You can pick one troop type, and you can then fill out all 5 of your comm slots. That sounds dirty. With one of those commanders, and you could still have a balanced roster, and you could still have a commander for any particular situation. You'll see that you'll actually build out a very strong roster of commanders that are all centered around using all of your research, using all of your gear, and then you'll be great.